Hello everyone, FPL.CARNAGE here and welcome to my Game Week 30 team selection. In this video, we're going to take a look at a couple of transfer ideas I have in mind. I am thinking about rolling a transfer, but I do have a couple of transfer ideas if I do decide to make transfers this week. We're also going to take a look at what my team looked like in Game Week 29, how my team fared in that game week, and we're also going to discuss what possible chip strategies we're going to look at going into consequent game weeks coming up, now that we kind of have an idea what the blank is going to look like and game week 32 double what it's going to look like as well. So we're going to take a look at all of this in my game week 30 team selection. Hello again. So before I go right into the video, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on the channel notifications so you get the videos as they drop, and let's get right into it. In game week 29, I scored a total of 65 points. I had Sanchez starting in goal. Unfortunately, he got benched for Chelsea. Jorgensen got the nod in that game against Aston Villa. Chelsea came through with a 4-1 win. No clean sheet, so nothing really painful there, but it is now one to look at, as it looks like I may have to make a keeper transfer, seeing that Sanchez is not nailed anymore as the first, starting option for goalkeeping options for Chelsea. Jorgensen also started their midweek game against PSG, so that just leaves a lot of worries, although he wasn't great in that game. So that just begs the question to see whether Sanchez would return to the lineup against Newcastle and possibly for the PSG game midweek. But Dubravka came in for him and returned 2 points in my goal as my goalkeeper. Moving on to my defense, I had Timber and Gabriel starting for me against Brighton. Timber returning 13 points in that game against Brighton. Gabriel with an 11 pointer as well in that game. So massive returns from my Arsenal double defense for the past 2 game weeks. I've been really pleased with Timber's comeback. I was looking at selling him 2 weeks ago, but he got that goal against Chelsea and now another double figure haul. So it doesn't look so bad keeping him for now. Van Dijk was my third defender with a 1 pointer. Disappointing, he could have got to the equalizing goal for Liverpool against Wolves. Unfortunately, the ball went straight to the keeper. No DEFCON points for him as well, so he returned just the 1 point in that game. Moving on to my midfield, I had Bruno Fernandes, who yet again provided another attacking return and returned 8 points for me in my midfield. Dewsbury Hall also getting a goal in that game against Burnley to return 9 points. Also managed to pick up some bonus points, and I think he picked up DEFCON points in that game. But he returned 9 points in my team, one of my transfer ins for that week. Rogers came in from the bench because I started Harry Wilson, who was not deemed fit enough to start the game. Rogers returned just the 1 point. He did get an assist for a Watkins goal, but it was chopped off for offside, so unfortunately no attacking return for him. 1 point coming off the bench for Wilson. Semenyo, who was my captain, got the first goal for Manchester City against Nottingham Forest. 7 pointer to return 14 points as captain. Moving up top, I had Ekitike, who was another player I brought in ahead of game week 29, hoping for more attacking returns after the 15 points he did in game week 28. Unfortunately, he could not get anything out of the game against Wolves, so he returned a 2 pointer. Thiago also with a 2 pointer in that game against Bournemouth. Got a good chance, couldn't capitalize on it, so returned just the 2 points. Haaland also, after a lot of speculations on his fitness ahead of the Forest game, he was deemed fit enough to start but didn't get any goal involvement in that game, so he returned 2 points. On my bench, Sanchez didn't play the game, so he returned 0. Wilson as well returned 0. Goodmanson returned 2 points in that game against Sunderland, and Mukiele, who has been out injured, returned 0 points as well. 65 points. I did take points hit last week, so that takes me to 61. Still where I am on the overall world ranking, 1.2. Hopefully we can begin to climb a little bit better coming into game week 30. Still a decent setup for my team, and let's see how we can begin to let's look at how we can change things, switch things up. We're getting into that stage of the season now where doubles and blanks are going to be coming in, so a lot of chips are going to be flying around. Hopefully some of the chips we have left can turn things around for us. Now in game week 30, I am going to start Sanchez in goal again. Like I said, I have the option to make a goalkeeper transfer, right? I love the idea of possibly bringing in Raya and tripling on the Arsenal defense, but they've kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 6 games, so that doesn't really seem ideal. I could go for the likes of Verbruggen of Brighton or Kelleher of Brentford, they host Wolves. Now Wolves are not an easy game. We've seen in their last 4 games that they look like a side that is trying to prove something, right? Albeit they're already in relegation, but they're trying to prove something. So I am looking at Kelleher. I like his fixtures. He's out of the FA Cup, not in the Carabao Cup as well. He's nailed as their keeper. Very, very good asset to own. He gets a lot of save points as well. So I think I may, if I do decide to take Sanchez off, I may bring in Kelleher. But I feel like Sanchez may get a nod for this Newcastle game. So I don't see myself moving towards, making a goalkeeper transfer. So I will start Sanchez at home to Newcastle. Hopefully, if he doesn't play, I get Dubravka off the bench at home to Bournemouth. In my defense, I am going to stay doubled up on the Arsenal defense. Timber and Gabriel will continue to start for me. Now, we may see them get rested. So it's a 50-50 coin toss going with this one. But they know that they need to continue to keep the pressure, to keep their hopes of winning the Premier League alive. So I don't know that they're going to want to rotate a lot. Yes, they will have the midweek game against Leverkusen in mind, but I think they will want to field the start, like the strongest starting 11 they can field, and kill off the game, and then maybe make substitutions. So I will start Gabriel and Timber at home to Everton. Van Dijk, my third defender, at home to Tottenham. With the amount of injuries that have plagued Tottenham currently, Van de Ven out, Romero out, Palhinha out, Bissouma, Gallagher, just a lot of injury problems at the moment for them. We saw them, lose 5-2 to Atletico Madrid midweek. I think they've lost their last 5 games in a row. I do not see them winning this game. I also see a really high probability of Liverpool even getting a clean sheet in this game, because they don't really have a lot of firepower attacking wise. So this could be a game where Van Dijk gets a couple of goals from set pieces as well. I don't think he picks up DEFCON points even, because there's nothing to defend really. But he's my third defender starting for me. In my midfield, I have Bruno Fernandes, who is my vice captain. It's one I'm actually looking at moving my armband to. He has returned double figure hauls in his last 5 home games so far. I think a couple of 13 pointers and 10 pointers in there. At home to Villa, it's a must-win game for them if they want to, secure that top 3 spots and keep it going to the end of the season. Bruno Fernandes playing in that number 10 role on set pieces, nailed on 90 minutes. I think he's a really brilliant captaincy option compared to the other options we have, who have midweek games to think about. They may get rested, they may get, subbed off early in the game just to rest them. So Bruno is a really, really decent option I'm looking at for captaincy this week. My vice captain is on him at the moment. Wilson is my second midfielder. We're at Forest. He did train with Fulham today. We may see him in contention to start the game. Whether or not he starts is yet to be seen, but he may start from the bench, or they may delay it till game week 31. But one thing we're certain is he will be fit enough for game week 31. But I am going to start him for now. Dewsbury Hall is my third midfielder. We're at Arsenal. It's not an ideal start or an ideal fixture for him, but he's really good for DEFCON points. If Everton are going to cause Arsenal any form of problems, I think he would be involved in that. He's on set pieces as well. So I think he may just offer 1 or 2 routes to returns, right? We've seen him perform in some big fixtures this season, so I don't mind starting him. Semedo is my fourth midfielder. We're at West Ham. We saw him got subbed off in the game against Real Madrid around the 60th, 70th minute mark. I think he starts this game. It's also a must-win game for Manchester City if they want to keep more pressure on Arsenal in the title race. So I think Semedo is going to continue to start. He has been their best outlet for goal scoring so far since signing in January. So I don't think he's going to be benched in this game. I think he's going to start. He's also a really good shout for captaincy if you're looking to go differential. Up top, Ekitike at home to Tottenham. We saw him return a double figure haul in the first tie of this fixture earlier in the season. At home to Tottenham, who are plagued with a lot of injuries. 2 of their starting centre backs are out for the game. Their backup centre backs are also not available. I think this is a game that he should find easy, possibly return another double figure haul. Also a really good shout for captaincy if you're willing to go that way. I think it's a good shout. My second attacker is Thiago at home to Wolves. Hopefully he gets a goal return, like some goal involvements in this game. I mean, I know Wolves haven't been, that side that you could look to capitalize on in recent games, but Brentford lost their last game. I think this is a game, or rather drew their last game. I don't think they've won in their last 3. I think 1 draw, 1 loss, if I remember correctly. So I think Thiago would look to capitalize on this. Haaland is my captain at the moment. He just has a really terrific record against West Ham that you cannot ignore. He is on a bit of goal drought, but when you look at his record against West Ham, it's just one you can't ignore, right? Yes, West Ham are battling relegation, but I think City need this win. West Ham need this win as well, but if you look at their head-to-head ties, City have always bested West Ham in this fixture. I think it's going to continue this Saturday. Haaland possibly picking up a brace in this game as well. So my armband is on him for the moment. On my bench, I have Morgan Rogers away at Manchester United. He did pick up a couple of goal returns in the return fixture, in the first fixture earlier in the season. I am looking at either bringing him in and dropping Wilson if I'm not sure of Wilson's minutes, but Rogers is on the bench for now. Goodmanson away at Crystal Palace, my second. And I have Mukiele at home to Brighton. Yes, he's still flagged, but he is, supposed to be returning back to, I think team training this week. Between this week or next week, he should be in contention from next week anyways, but he is the last defender on my bench. Now I have Goodmanson in my team, who I don't mind coming in for Gabriel or Timber, whichever of them doesn't start or maybe is rested, right? Yeah, so I don't mind him for that fixture against Crystal Palace away from home. Leeds have been a really worrisome side in recent fixtures. It could be an upset for Crystal Palace, who haven't really been on form either, so I don't mind him coming in. I have one free transfer at the moment. I just don't know that I have any particular transfer in mind that I am comfortable making. I think I would rather roll my transfer to Gameweek 31, where we have a couple of blanks, and then see what I can make out of it. I don't mind the idea of bringing in João Pedro, right? But it's just, who do I bring him in for? I don't like the idea of taking Thiago out against Wolves. Yes, Wolves may not be the easiest fixture anymore, but Thiago could also get rested, right? Chelsea may rest players in hopes of, comeback against PSG in midweek. So I don't know that that's the wisest thing to do FPL wise for this week, right? So because I'm not sure of what transfers would actually suit my team at the moment, I'm just tilting more towards rolling my transfers and seeing how it goes this week, hoping that majority of the players start, and then I can use the 2 free transfers in Game Week 31 where there are a lot of blanks. So my captain armband is on Haaland, my vice is on Bruno Fernandes, and this is how my team is set up for Game Week 30. I'm pleased the way it is. Like I said, I don't see myself making any transfer, but I'm going to see, I'm still going to take a look at a couple of transfer ideas for future planning and see if it just fits into this game week, right, and whether or not it's reasonable enough to make them ahead of Game Week 30. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for me, any opinions, please leave them in the comment section. Any questions, I'll get back to them as soon as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next FPL video.